Whether you believe in one or not, religion and spiritual beliefs are very influential. As a result, there are many who seek this influence for their own selfish reasons. Under the guise of spiritual power, these parasites of society prey upon unfortunate people. It's hard to really put yourself in the mindset of someone who would actually do this. However, one man did. Vikram Gandhi. Today we look at the man who became the fake guru, Kumaré. To understand Kumaré, we first have to understand Vikram Gandhi. Born in New Jersey, Vikram came from a family of Indian immigrants. He was raised a Hindu, but like many, he became rather distant with his family's religion, questioning if it or any other religion was real. While pursuing a career in television and documentary filmmaking, he also studied religion extensively to perhaps find an answer. This would have an opposite effect, with him effectively leaving religion behind him. As Vikram left his religion, the world around him was starting to embrace it. Yoga started to become very popular, and not too far behind was a growing number of spiritual gurus. To Vikram, it was clear that these people weren't just fake gurus, but also had ulterior motives.
He's having sex with all the young girls. He cannot be a real guru. Why not? What could be more fabulous than having sex with a really spiritual, mystical person?
Yeah, unfortunately, these people actually found success. The sad reality is that there are people in bad situations and are in desperate need of some sort of guidance. People can get so fixated on this stuff that it's hard to snap them out of it. Well, Vikram was gonna try, not as himself, but as the spiritual guru Kumaré. The Kumaré stunt set out to accomplish a few things. One, that gurus were nothing special. If Vikram could do it, it should call into question the validity of others. Two, he wanted to preach what he called the mirror philosophy. The idea that spiritual guidance was just a reflection of the change you wanted to see in yourself. The power of change came from yourself. Essentially, everyone was their own guru. To sell his image of being a guru, Vikram created a fictional past for himself. He came from a village called Alikash, which didn't exist. He grew out his beard and adopted a fake Indian accent. He acted as if he had some sort of blue energy he could pass on to his followers. And to top it all off was the creation of fake slokas.
So the first one is Sarvo Bhav, and that means be all you can be, which is the United States Army recruiting message. And Karam Yeva Dikaraste, which sounds amazing, and it means just do it. But if you think about...
In fact, if someone took the time to look into what Kumaré said, they'd realize that this was all bullshit.
You see the word Pinkaloka, which is sort of sounded like a good word for like a heaven type place, so I'd say you need to go to Pinkaloka. And
with his established fake beliefs, he set out for Phoenix, Arizona. Initially, cultivating an audience was a slow-going process. During these beginning stages, he was able to figure out what he could get away with in a public setting, which turned out to be quite a lot. There was the penis symbol that everyone eagerly let him draw on their foreheads. He managed to get different mediums to confirm his quote-unquote spiritual powers.
Can you see a Vikram?
I'm not sure what that is. What I see is purple with the red above. And I feel Metatron, Archangel Metatron.
There's that time he actually got someone to worship three figures: Barack Obama, Kumaré himself, and one really bad dude. I can't say his name or else YouTube will actually cut my nuts off, so if you know, you know. There's also some pretty questionable yoga moves he made his followers do. Like, come on Vikram, what is this? As his audience grew, Kumaré would face an inevitable situation. Many started to come to him seeking direct answers for the problems in their lives, with some that he struggled to answer. For instance, one woman came to him with marital problems, ultimately deciding to leave her husband. Some came to him with problems of depression and abuse. One of Vikram's main issues with religion was the idea of authority.
I was looking at the big ones, Jesus, Buddha. I was looking at those. What did they say? What did they do? And the one thing I couldn't get down with that they could was saying that they had authority. And Kumaré was about saying he didn't have authority.
So Kumaré couldn't give his own advice to these people, as it would make him an authority on that subject, a complete contradiction to his own teachings. It was here where the effectiveness of the mirror philosophy would be tested, and to his credit, it actually worked. During this stunt, Kumaré got quite a few devout followers. One of them was a woman named Kimberly, a single mother who had worked hard to put her kids through college. Now that they were out of the house, she found it hard to adjust to this new life. She sought the guidance of Kumaré, but unbeknownst to her, he really didn't do much. One of his common practices was to play the role of the student, and the student played a role of the guru. The student would then tell him how they should solve their problems. All Kumaré did was nod his head and listen.
I am your student, okay?
Okay. You are to eat a good diet without too much starch and too much fat, and do not take any bad things into your body, as in drinking or food.
And there is some temptation in my life.
Yes, stay away from the people that don't care about you, that don't love you.
These all seem like innocuous solutions, but they actually improved her life. She was able to lose 70 pounds all on her own. There was Greg, who had a history with drug addiction. Adhering to the philosophy of Kumaré, he saw the quality of his life and marriage improve drastically. There was also Molly, who was at a loss for what she wanted for her future. Kumaré told her to imagine an ideal version of herself and go from there. Again, a very simple message, but one that really helped her. She eventually started to pursue a yoga instructor license, a goal she had had for a while, but was finally committing to. People's lives were changing for the better, but there was one glaring issue. They all kept attributing their success to Kumaré. The only way the mirror philosophy could truly work was to remove Kumaré, a process which would prove to be rather difficult. It should be noted that Kumaré was always telling people this whole thing was a ruse.
This whole thing is a big trick to help people realize that they do not need a guru. That everything they want, all their happiness is inside themselves. That the same good that you see inside this man, you also have inside yourself. That you did not need a guru to make yourself happy. Because the truth is that I am only the same as everyone here.
However, no one ever took it at face value. This made it that much harder to dismantle the idea of Kumaré. He'd have to be super blunt. Eventually, the day of unveiling came and Kumaré gave his speech. However, as he is about to reveal himself to be Vikram, he chokes, and he continues the lie. Vikram had a lot of things to worry about here. 1. How would they react to this revelation? 2. How would this affect their progress? Would they think they were fools and regress back? The pressure got to him in the moment. Eventually, Vikram sets up another great unveiling. He creates a video presentation where Kumaré sets up what is about to happen, that there was never a real guru to begin with. And then Vikram walks in, hoping that everyone understood what he tried to teach them. And surprisingly, they did. Sure, there were some people who walked out, whether it be from anger or confusion, but for the most part, his closest followers realized what he had done. There was no need for any guru. It may sound cliche, but the ability to change their lives was in them the whole time. It's been many years since the Kumaré stunt. Spiritual gurus have decreased in popularity, however, we're confronted with yet another type, the quote-unquote self-help gurus. They invoke different tactics, but do so for the same selfish reasons. some try to scam you out of your money, and others try to indoctrinate you into their ideology. Unfortunately, there are still many who fall for it. At one point, Kumaré learns of a quote by Buddhist sage Lin Chi that perfectly fits in with his own ideology. The quote being, "If you meet the Buddha on the road, then kill him." It emphasized Buddha's own belief that you shouldn't worship a god, a deity, or even a single person like himself. It's something that could be applied to life now. You shouldn't glorify that guru, that medium, psychic, or even the hermit-sounding misogynist. You are the person that puts in the most effort to improve your life, and you should never forget that.